All right, looks like we are on and popping. So I am not going to be able to see any comments if they come up. Well, I think I got a couple screens going, so I might be able to. So if you say something and it doesn't get acknowledged, I'm sorry in advance. Hello, good morning, hey flower buds. But yeah, I'm excited to flow today. It's been a minute. I uploaded a life update, so if you're interested, that's fine. If you're not, just hi again. Nice to be back. We'll see if this becomes a regular thing. But today we are doing just an easy, slow flow. It'll be just a nice flow to get going for the day and for the week to set our intentions. So all skill levels will be able to do it. Since we get to do this from the comfort of our homes, you can definitely use blocks if you have them, or a strap. I'm actually using a thing for my robe, because that works as good as anything, doesn't it? And then again, since you're at home, if you have like a chair or like a piece of furniture nearby that you can like lean on, that would also be helpful. But yeah, we'll have fun. It'll be a nice laid back little thing for us today. I am gonna go ahead and just check on some tech, make sure everybody can see and hear and all that fun stuff. Nice. Okay, it looks like we're going. Neat. So yeah, thank you for being here and for making the time. I'll wait a few minutes before I start. So yeah, got some incense going here for myself. Aromatherapy is so nice. It really helps set the tone. I know personally it helps me ground the present moment. So I use incense, sage, and candles, but even just like a really aromatic spray or a scent that feels grounding to you can be one, even if that's just like coffee. Doesn't have to be something fancy. But yeah, get this going so I don't start a fire. Okay, neat. Well, we are at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna give it another moment or so before we actually start moving around. But I have to say, it's been a long time coming, but I'm excited and it feels right to be here in this time. So we'll do our flow this morning, and then of course there's always pre-recorded classes on my website as well under the offerings section if you feel you would like to do that. This session is free. If you want to show monetary appreciation, there is a spot for that below the video. So yeah, I'm just grateful to be here. This is in connection with an event that Kinship just had. Kinship Cafe is a local cafe here in Kansas City. And I have to say the owner, TJ, has been a really good friend to me that has just helped with my creative spark. So I appreciate doing this session, and hopefully more to come, so we'll see. You're always welcome to message if this is something you'd like to see more of online. And I'm still trying to get a feel for that, so yeah, if you'd like to also share what times and what days of the week would work best, we can kind of coordinate that together. But yeah, if you do this session and you're local, let me know. I will message you. Kinship and TJ are so nice to have a 50% off drink for you. And they make amazing drinks. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with their black tea right now. Okay, so we'll get going just in case anybody has anywhere to be. we are going to start in an easy seated position just to get our minds and bodies here and present before we start moving around. So I am actually going to start this music over so we don't have that awkwardness later. Okay, so in a seated position that feels right for you, once you get comfortable, you're welcome to close your eyes if that feels right for you this morning. And we'll just take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll let the body soften into all the spaces that feel like they might have tension. Allow the next inhale to go to those same spaces and expand a little bit more. And if the mind starts to wander, that's totally fine. Just bring it back to the breath. Each inhale expanding the space within. And each exhale acting as an invitation to expand out. Each breath might make us just a little more aware of the body. Beginning with the place that's connected to your foundation if you're sitting. And if you're standing, maybe it's in your feet. Allow the inhale to reach all the way down. And for each exhale to expand the spine. Almost as if you could become taller. And as we begin to feel more grounded, our bodies soften into our breath, you're welcome to make an intention for yourself. Maybe it's to reset for the week, or a specific goal you have. Today's visualization will be embodying living waters in the way that water never gets tied to how quick it's rushing or the impact of its waves. It simply allows itself to just be. In that authentic space, it frees itself to take on any shape, to adjust to any weather, and of course to just be. Nice full deep breath in and gentle exhale out. And as we internalize that visualization and our intention, you're welcome to slowly open the eyes and find some gentle movement. Now, as always, everything we do today is just a suggestion. You can either do it or modify it, or choose not to. Sitting and of course child's pose is always an option. So we'll get started here. Maybe on the next inhale, you reach the hands up high in the air. And on the exhale, we might bring the arms back out to the sides. Again, inhaling up and exhaling down. We'll do a few more, inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. You're gonna hear me clear my throat a few times. Nasty cold. All right, so we'll bring the hands to the knees or wherever it feels comfortable. And we'll start with some slow circular movements here. So reaching the chest forward, 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 engage the core. And then we'll lean over towards one side and allow those core muscles to drive us backward, making a circular motion. We'll come over towards the other side and then towards the front again. So allow your own breath to drive these movements. My creaky floors say hello. And the next time we find ourselves at the back of the circle, we'll take it towards the opposite direction. Nice deep mindful breaths. And I'll go ahead and mute this so you guys don't hear everything going on in the world. We'll do a couple more big circular motions on this side. And when you're ready, we'll come back up towards the middle. Bringing the legs out towards the sides. We'll find a nice bend in the knees here, just to help wake the hamstrings up. Reaching the hands forward and out towards the sides and up. We'll reach the hands forward, out towards the sides, and back up. Perfect. Engaging our core muscles with the next inhale. We'll turn the torso over towards one side and reach the arms out. Deep breath here. Arms reach back up. And we turn the torso towards the middle. Allow those shoulder blades to melt down. Nice deep inhale. And as we exhale, we turn the torso towards the other side. Arms reach out. Deep breath. Arms reach back up and we turn torso towards the middle. Reaching the arms out. Again, always from the core muscles. We'll reach forward, nice straight back. So as soon as you start to feel a little challenged here, you're in the right place. So we don't need to focus on getting super low to the ground. We're going forward as much as feels comfortable. When it feels right, arms can reach out and land somewhere on the legs. Maybe it reaches the feet. That's totally depending on how your body is positioned. Not only that, your openness this morning. So no judgment here if your hands are like way up high or a little lower down to the feet. Allow the chest to open, coming forward, while still maintaining a nice flat spine. If it feels right to find some movement here, we might rock towards one side and the other. Sometimes if there's tension, nice gentle movement, just freeze it up with every single breath. I'm getting a nice stretch in our hip flexors and our hamstrings here. Awesome. Slowly we'll start to come back up, bringing legs towards the middle. And I'm gonna be essentially doing the electric slide this whole class, just for the sake of like y'all seeing me. You don't have to turn every single time I do. Anyways, we are going to make our way to a standing position. If you have a way that you do that you flow through it, maybe your feet come to the ground and you go through a squat all the way to a stand, you can totally do that. Depends on where you're at in your practice. Some of us might lean the legs towards the side, allow ourselves to come up on all fours, and slowly but surely walking the hands back and coming up to stand. That might even be too much though, so if you just want to stand up, you totally can. All right, when we make it to a standing position, we'll meet at the back of the mat. And from here, Just shake it out. Just allow the body to get loose. One of my favorite Bay Area yoga teachers, Kalila, she also is a loving movement and peace dancer. Used to always do these organic body shakes, and it just helps remind ourselves that we're not just doing poses here, we're connecting with our bodies. So love her for sharing that in her practice. Anyway, once you're ready and you've had enough of those shakes, we'll start with our feet planted on the ground. Notice how every single corner of the foot is planted, from the big toe to the little toe and both sides of the heels. We'll find some gentle strength in the knees, but a micro bend, so just slightly bent where you can just barely tell. Take a nice step out so we're hips width apart. And again, plant those feet and let the knees soften. When you find your place there, we'll bring the pelvis just slightly forward, just enough so you can feel your thighs engage. That'll put us in alignment with our core muscles. Every deep breath, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. And that core helps support our trunk, so we might find the space to roll those shoulders back. And let them soften, so we're not standing like a soldier, but just allowing ourselves to have nice posture here. We'll soften the chin downward and just slightly pull the chin back so we're in alignment with the rest of our spine and all the way down to our feet. Nice deep breath in and back out. So that, of course, is our mountain pose, and it's such a beautiful way to drop in and be present when you're standing, even if it's at a grocery store or somewhere you're just standing around. Another deep inhale brings the hands up high in the sky. And as we exhale, arms come out towards the sides. Arms come in towards the middle on the next breath. Again, hands come up and out towards the sides and towards the front. One more time, big inhale up and out towards the sides. This time, we'll take a deep breath. And on the exhale, hands come towards the front as we sit back, almost as if there's a chair behind us. Feel those pelvic floor muscles engage along with our core. And as we inhale, we come up to stand. Exhaling, arms come out towards the sides. Inhale, hands towards the front. And we'll start to sit back into our imaginary chair, exhaling. Now, of course, we're at home, right? So you could have a chair behind you that could totally be supporting you here. You could have your hand on whatever's close to you to help steady you. Nice gentle breathing. And as we inhale, we come up to stand. One more, we've got it in us. Arms come out towards the sides. Hands reach forward as we sit back into our chair. Now, if your arms are getting a bit tired here, you can totally bring them together. Hands come to prayer. And if you start to feel this in your knees, that's a good sign that you're probably not as open in the hips yet, and almost holding yourself away from where it's difficult to stretch. So if that's the case, you could totally come up just a little bit more, almost as if you're getting ready to stand, until you find the right place where you feel a gentle challenge, but it's still happening in the hips rather than the knees. Alrighty, from here we'll bring the arms out in front of us if they're not already. Chest springs forward, legs start to straighten. Now they don't have to straighten all the way, just enough where you feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. That's the backs of the thighs. Arms come out towards the sides and then down towards the legs. We're in our half forward fold here. Nice deep breath. From here, we'll bend one knee. Now we've got to pay attention here. Whatever knee is bent, we'll keep that arm down, okay? So this knee is bent, arm on this side stays down. On the straight leg side, we'll reach the arm out towards the side. Almost sounded like Woody there, didn't I, from Toy Story? Reach toward the sky. Anyways, then we're gonna reach the hand up towards the ceiling, opening the chest only as much as it feels comfortable. So if you don't open it all the way, that's totally fine. And then slowly, arm comes down, bending the knees a bit more. We might reach towards the floor. Now, if you have blocks or anything, that might be good to have here as a prop. All right, we'll straighten that other leg. And on the opposite side, bent knee, and on the opposite side, we'll reach the arm out towards the side and then towards the ceiling. See, this is why I don't say left and right, because I always get mixed up, and inevitably you guys are doing the opposite one, so whichever side you didn't just do. Perfect. We'll reach back towards the middle, and then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come up to stand. Deep breath brings hands up and all the way down. Again, reaching up and all the way down. Perfect. Again, if it feels comfortable, you can shake it out a bit here. Maybe find some neck circles, pick the heels up a few times. Just loosening the body. Perfect. When we find our nice mountain pose again, standing steady on all four corners of the feet, nice gentle bend in the knees, pelvis reaching forward just enough so we feel the thighs. Nice tall trunk of our body here, chest reaching forward just enough to let our shoulders come back. Nice softened chin, deep breath brings hands up. And we'll do a deep dive this time. So as arms come out, chest reaches forward, knees slightly bend, and hands come down. Again, you could be using a block or a prop here. like so. And next deep breath, we'll take the hands down to the mat, bend your knees if you need to, and we'll walk the hands out to our downward dog. So how do you know you're in the right place? Well, we'll still have a nice little bend in the knees. We'll send our tailbone back up towards the sky, and when we're engaging through our hamstrings, where we feel this in the backs of the thighs, we'll start to feel as if our lower body is the root of this pose. We'll bring our armpits almost like they're coming towards each other, which makes our hands a nice secondary foundation for this pose. It engages our upper back, and we're pressing down through our index finger and thumb. Our core is holding our lower body steady, and our upper body has a nice gentle opening through the chest. From here, we'll look forward, straightening the back, and we'll find our plank pose. Knees come down, toes untuck, and we come back to our child's pose. So remember, at any point, if you get tired or decide that one of the poses isn't for you, child's pose is a great place to come back. 2 more breaths here. And on that second breath, we'll come up towards all fours. As we find some gentle movement here, we might rock towards the sides. Maybe find some nice circular motions. Just leaning into that openness that we may find. And if we chose circular motions, don't forget to do the other side. Perfect. When it feels right, we'll come back up to all fours, tabletop pose. On the inhale, back arches looking up. And on the exhale, back arches the opposite way. Inhale, looking up. Belly towards the ground. And as we exhale, taking the core in, looking down. Inhaling, looking up. And exhaling, looking down. Perfect. We'll do a few more cycles of our cat-cow. When you're ready, you will find tabletop again, easing back into our child's pose. Now, child's pose is active even though it's a resting pose. So when you start to feel that engagement in your thighs as well as your core muscles, you're in the right place. So you may not get all the way down to the ground, but that's totally fine. melting the elbows down into the mat. Deep breath here. And if it feels right, you can do some nice little circles with the wrists. From here, we'll come back up towards our tabletop pose. Tucking toes, lifting knees, nice and slow. Tailbone goes all the way up for our downward dog. And if it feels right, you can walk the feet just a bit here where the heels get closer to the mat and then further away. It's a really nice way to open up again our hamstrings as well as our hips. When you're ready, we'll find stillness in our downward dog. One foot might lift off the mat, high into the air. Now if this feels not reachable yet, you could definitely keep the leg bent here while it's still reaching up towards the sky. And if you're anywhere lower down, that's also fine. Wherever your body's at today, you can always use as a starting point. And as you continue your practice, you could work up to things like having the leg fully extended. We might circle the ankle here. And then bringing this leg back down, walking the feet out. We'll do the same on the other side. Big deep breath, maybe keeping the leg bent here if that feels more accessible. And I'll model what that modification looks like on this side. Again, you can circle the ankle. And depending on where you're at in your practice, if your leg's fully extended, you could be doing the same. And when you're ready, foot comes back down. From here, we'll straighten into our plank pose. Deep breath. From here, knees come down, chest opens, and we'll find our upward dog. So always allowing those shoulders to expand and reach further back. Chest comes down towards the mat. Arms reach out further than the mat. Perfect. And for a moment, we'll rest here. When it feels right, we'll allow our fingertips to connect with the ground out towards our right and left sides of our bodies here. And slowly, we'll start to just lift the chest. Now our focus and our view is still towards the ground. So we're making sure that our neck isn't bent awkwardly here. So we're still looking towards the ground, chest is up, arms are out towards the sides, we bend the elbows. And from here, we'll look towards one side back towards the middle. And we'll look towards the other side. Going back towards the middle. We'll allow hands to come closer in towards the torso. Elbows magnetize towards the rib cage. Feel that nice, gentle stretch between the shoulder blades. Now we're still engaging, pointing our toes so that our lower body is still part of this. As we push the hands in towards the mat, chest reaches up, shoulders reach back. Now we'll do a few of these little cobra push-ups. So slowly here, first elbows bend and bring the chest closer towards the ground. And then next we push the index finger and thumb so we can reach the chest back up. We'll do a few more of those. Nice deep breath and pointing our toes as we continue this movement. Coming back down. And one more big lift. And we'll hold here at the top of the movement. Slowly here, we'll come back down towards the ground. Pressing the hands into the mat, we lift our hips and chest all the way back to our child's pose. We're only taking one deep breath here. If it feels right, you can definitely rest longer if you need to. We'll come up into all fours, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and we're back in our downward dog. When you make it there, we'll lift one leg high in the sky, or bend if that feels more comfortable. We'll bring the knee in, almost like we're coming into that plank pose again. Knee comes forward. We'll plant the foot between the hands. Deep breath, looking forward. Engage your glute muscles here, almost like you're squeezing each hip towards one another. And deep breath, hands reach forward and then up. We're in our high lunge. Arms reach out towards the sides. And it's a good thing our hips are so open. So from here, we'll turn towards our bent leg. Deep breath. Turning the torso back towards the front of the room. Hands reach up and forward. Bringing the hands towards that bent leg. We'll start to straighten our front leg and bring the chest forward. And we're in our pyramid pose. So again, if you have blocks, you might be using a block here to help bring the ground closer. From here, we'll bend that front knee, hands plant down towards the mat, and we're back as our foot reaches back in our plank pose. Knees bend, tailbone reaches up, And we're in our downward dog. So same thing on the other side. Other leg reaches up. Knee comes forward. All the way to plant the foot between the hands. And as we look forward, hands reach forward, arms reach up, and we extend into our high lunge. Arms reach out, and we twist the torso towards the bent leg. Deep breath here. And when you're ready, we come back towards the center, arms reach forward, and then towards the bent leg. Torso reaches forward, bent leg straightens. And you could either find your hands on the leg here or on the block. And from here, we'll walk the hands down towards the ground, leg bending. Foot steps back into plank. Nice deep breath as we lower, almost like a push-up. Arms reach back. Chest lifts up. And on the next breath, knees bend so we can lift into our downward dog. Walking the feet out here. And slowly we'll walk the hands all the way back towards the feet. Bending the knees, reaching the hands forward. Through our chair pose, we lift up all the way to stand. Arms reach out to the sides and all the way down. Nice deep breath. From here, arms reach up and out towards the sides. We'll shift our weight over into one leg. And with that lighter feeling leg, we'll reach the knee upward. So this is where you could totally use a prop again to have your foot resting on, or a strap to hold it up. But we'll hug the knee in towards the body. Whoop. And if your foot taps down for balance, that's okay. We'll take this bent leg and cross it over the standing leg. Again, all four corners of the feet are down. So if you need to step the crossed leg in a little closer, that's fine. Hands reach up. And we lean opposite of our crossed over leg. Inhaling back up. Arms reach out towards sides and down. Legs uncross. And we do same on the opposite side. So weight comes into one leg. That lighter leg lifts up. And it doesn't have to be far. It could just be slightly off the ground. And we just hug the knee in. because mine just feels comfortable. So it might look like this, and it might look like this, or anywhere in between. Then we'll take that lifted leg and we'll cross it over the standing leg. Deep breath as arms reach up, and we lean opposite of the crossed over leg. Coming back up towards a standing position. Arms reach out towards the sides and legs uncross. We'll shake it out a bit here. Perfect. Let's see if we can have some fun with our open space here. So inhaling, arms come up. Exhaling, arms come out towards the sides as our chest dives forward into our forward fold. We'll halfway lift on the exhale. And slowly lower towards a forward fold again. Hands start to walk out towards our downward dog. Deep breath. Next breath brings us towards our plank pose. Knees come down. We'll lift one leg behind us. Whichever leg is lifted, we'll maybe lift the opposite hand. So if you just start to walk that hand forward, you're already challenging yourself. If the hand floats off the mat, also a great challenge. Anywhere in between is great. Maybe you start to bend that back knee. And maybe the hand starts to stretch out towards the side. And if it feels comfortable, maybe it starts to drift towards the foot. Doesn't have to. And if it finds the foot, deep breath here as you push the heel in towards the palm. And then again, anywhere in between is fine. You could always keep doing this same video and then work your way up. From here, we'll unravel, coming back to all fours. Maybe again, find a nice circular motion all the way back and forward and around. Oh, wouldn't you know, my great music ended. Let's restart that. Okay. And when you find yourself back towards the center, we'll try it on the other side. So, opposite leg reaches behind you. And again, this could be what you do today. This could be it. And that is totally fine because you're challenging your core muscles. Your hip flexors are steadying you here. So this is great. You could start to bend the knee. Again, already a great challenge. Hamstrings are working here for you. And I guess your quads as well, steadying your body here. And then you could start to walk the fingers of the opposite side forward. Already a great challenge here. And then maybe the hand lifts off the mat. And then if all of that is happening or none of that happens, that's also fine. But maybe the arm reaches out towards the side. And maybe back towards the foot. deep breath here as we push the foot in towards the hand. And slowly we'll unravel, coming back towards the mat. And again, circular motions. Perfect. Coming back towards the center. We'll give the wrists some love here. So we'll take the palms towards, the backs of the hands towards the mat by flipping our palms upward. And really just focus on connecting the thumbs towards the mat here. We'll get a nice stretch in the backs of our wrists. You could, if this feels like it's not enough of a stretch, you could start to drive the hips back just a bit, keeping the thumbs in towards the mat. If that feels like way too much, again, you don't have to do that. And then slowly here, we'll flip the palms back down. And then maybe rock the body from one side to the other, just to get a nice massage on that part of your wrists again. And slowly here, we'll come back towards child's pose. 2 full deep breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll bring the torso up to a seated position. Legs come out towards the sides and in front of us. And we get to meditate and rest. So from here, you can really be positioned any way you want. Traditionally, this part of the practice is done laying on your back, but you can also sit, you can also lay on your side. Really, you can do whatever you want. So when you find that nice, comfortable position, just allow yourself to fully and deeply release into it. So any tension you might be holding on to can be melted by each inhale. And released with every exhale. If it's helpful, you're welcome to visualize water here in a state where it's moving. So maybe it's a rushing river or a nice calm stream or crashing waves or the steady movement in the ocean, where it almost looks still, but under the surface it's still so alive and moving. Whatever form of water feels like it's where you are today, allow that visualization to pour into yourself. Every cell, muscle, and bone in your body being washed by this visualization. You're invited to bring a hand towards the belly and towards the chest, if it feels comfortable for you. We'll take 2 more full deep breaths. And from wherever you are, we'll bend the knees and bring them in towards the chest, maybe rocking side to side. If it feels right, you could start to let the knees come out towards the sides, massaging the low back and hips. And hugging the knees in, finding stillness. Stretching them back out so the heels come in contact with the floor. Now if you're laying down here, knees could come over towards the sides. As you start to walk the hands towards the sides, and steady yourself to lift up. I think we're doing okay on time. Awesome. Only like a minute over. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you taking care of yourself and making the time, and I hope to do this more in the future when it feels right and authentic and like it's timely. Anyway, yes, you all being here helps me just as much as it helps you, so yeah. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and allow yourself to connect with the living water within. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I used to say in these things, namaste, amen, and everything else that fits. Have a great rest of your day and your week. So, thank you. Alrighty. Don't forget, if you're local, you get a 50% off drink from Kinship, so use that because they make some amazing stuff and the environment there is just unmatched. So yeah, have a great rest of your day and week, and don't mind me awkwardly trying to end this stream. So